Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. Right here with Spears.
How y'all feel out there?
Steinberg. What time is it? Game time.
Hello, my fellow Americans. This is your president, Donald J. Trump. I want to say to all the podcast listeners of Spears and Steinberg, it's a great podcast. It's an informative podcast. Aries Spears is right 1,000% of the time. Andy's right 90% of the time. But no one is perfect. As much as we love Steve, sometimes Steve messes up. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to all march down to Steve's residence, knock on his door, and say, "Oh, Steve."
All right. Coming out of that, 3, 2, 1. Kyle Singer. Real Men, continuation of my Spearsburg fam email. My niggas, one of the new favorite bits is the Burt Real Man skits you've been doing. As I was revisiting those episodes, I came up with a bright idea. Since there's a lot of real men that listen to this podcast, excluding bathtub Kolsch.
Poor Kolsch.
How about we chime in? How about we chime in on how manly we are? I'm Kyle, and I'm a real man. When I drink beer, okay, let me do it in that voice. This is Bert Bridgewater, representing Kyle. As Kyle says, I'm a real man. When I drink beer, I don't use a bottle opener to crack it open. I'll put the bottle cap in my eye socket and twist it off. And immediately after the last sip, in seconds, I smash the bottle over my bitch's head and dare her to stay conscious. Real man. That took a turn.
It did take a turn, but the eyeball thing was that was great.
Yeah. We here at the Spears and Steinberg podcast don't condone violence on women of any kind, even if it is your point to prove you're a real man. I had to put a disclaimer on that one.
Yeah, you should never try opening the beer bottle with your eyeball, by the way.
And you definitely shouldn't smash it over your bitch's head after you've successfully opened the bottle and drank your last sip.
We should just have like on the video, we should have Anthony's put do not try this at home.
Right, or like a Chiron or something that goes across the screen.
Yeah.
Right, don't hit your bitch in the head with the bottle after your last sip.
A big warning just comes up before.
Yeah. David Higgins question. Hey, A&A, you guys have stepped your podcast game up on a major level, and I had a question. How long did it take for you to learn Mandarin and or Cantonese when you did the voice for Shaq on American Dad? This shit was funny and impressive as fuck. LOL. I actually learned some Mandarin in high school. We should have a conversation in Mandarin. Shaq against my Alan Alda impression. Is it possible to get 2 tickets to your show at Chuckles in December? I gotta get one of those McDonald's shirts. Bless up. Also, Andy, you had great points during and post the RZA interview. Those discussions really help move the culture forward.
Thanks.
Yeah, it was in the script, the Mandarin. So they just told me what to say, and I said it, and there it was. I would love to hear your Alan Alda impression, though. That's a very obscure person.
You know, in the 70s and 80s when MASH was on TV, it wasn't obscure.
Oh, he was the dude.
Yeah, so he's reaching. He went back in time.
But I've never seen an Alan Alda, so I would love to know what that's
that'd
like.
Be good.
Yeah. As far as the conversation between Shaq and him, like I said, if I knew it, but it wouldn't be extensive. It would just be a couple of words. So there that is. Gotta pardon me, guys. I'm sucking on a Halls. What flavor is this? Honey lemon Halls. To take some of that out of my voice. All right. Junebug Spade. Wet Snickers bar. Aries Spears voice. It's Junebug Spide.
Dude, before you go on,
Yes.
last night at the club, when the dude had his shirt unbuttoned,
Right.
I thought you were going to say the Wet Snickers bar on stage.
Yeah, it didn't come to mind.
I was like, I was sitting there. There's just moments when, you know, with some of the podcast stuff,
Right.
and you're on stage, I'm like, is he
gonna say
is
what?
he-
Yeah. Shit. All right.
Sorry.
No, we're good. I don't have your memory problem. I was driving and damn near went off the road when Aries did the Rocky joke and said the gym had a bunch of sweaty black dudes that looked like wet Snickers bars. Funniest shit I've heard in a while. Wanted to address a few things. First, whoever said Halloween Kills was good as smoking crack. Everyone I know that saw it said it was hot garbage. This, by far, was one of the dumbest Halloween movies. I won't ruin the so-called plot, but whoever wrote the script should never get another job in Hollywood again. I understand horror films aren't meant to have complex stories, but this shit was insulting to my intelligence. Too many moments in the film make you say, what the fuck? This shit is so stupid. This crazy motherfucker been killing people every year in your town for 40 years, and y'all decide to stay? Just reminds me of that great Eddie Murphy joke from his album where he had the album cover where he had the rose in his ear and the leather jacket, the Boogie in the Butt song. But anyway, let me go ahead. He didn't get me this year. Maybe I'll stick around and next year will be my turn. Hopefully the next one really is the last because this series is worn out. One of the gay characters that you guys spoke about in the film is actually played by your former castmate on Mad TV, Michael McDonald. Look what I can do. Please do a review of the movie. Matter of fact, he should have probably said that before he got killed. Look what I could do. And then get stabbed in his throat. Please do a review of this movie whenever you guys see it and tell me if you agree. Second, although Jay-Z is my favorite rapper, I can't let him get a pass without rhyming sound effects. In the song Trouble, he says, and I quote, that's right. He says, but in lieu of you little niggas trying to play that boy, I'll pew, pew, little niggas with the latest toy when he did the sound effect of a silencer. LMAO, Cameron actually rhymed car sounds in a song once. I always find that funny when rappers do it. Sometimes it works. Most of the time it's cringeworthy. I'm out. Stay safe. Peace. I actually like when Hov did that.
Oh, now you like it.
Yeah, but when he did it, it flowed. It flowed within the sequence.
Okay. Didn't flow.
Hold up.
And I thought you were going to do that last night too when that chick left the room.
Right.
And you wwent vroom like that. She left the room.
Right.
But
nobody would have got the pew,
no.
no.
But no. But it would have been funny to me.
Hello, little niggas. Hello, little niggas trying to play that boy. Pew, pew. Little niggas with the latest toy. That pew, pew is right in pocket, nigga.
But Biggie uses something like that though too.
What?
And, yeah. When the guys are talking about what's that red thing? What's that red dot on your head? And he did, but I think
he used the real sound effects.
He used the real sound effects.
The sound effects that Biggie makes is when you bite into hot food that you didn't let cool off. Oh.
Yeah. That pizza sticking on the top of your throat.
Yeah. Hov, when he come into a room, brandish that gun, niggas are scared and go, pew. See, pew don't have the same. Now, me, niggas run from responsibilities. Ain't nobody better than me. I possess that ability. Fuck that. I'm coming soon. You want me to pay child support, bitch? What? Pew.
He could have pulled it off.
Yeah. Kevin Mishu. Email question for the podcast. Sup, Aries and Andy. First off, long-time follower of the podcast. I actually came out to the Friday night show you guys had at Levity Live in New York. After the show, both you guys were cool as shit to my wife and I. We had a great time. So to my fellow podcast listening family, If the A&A guys are in your town, then go check them out. All right, enough with the ass kissing. Let's get down to man food topics. Enjoyed the Val Kilmer episode, but wanted to know if you've seen the movie called Felon. It's about a family man, Stephen Dorff, who kills an intruder outside his home and is sent to prison. Somewhere along the way, he gets mixed up with the Aryan group and gets sent to the SHU program. Yep, that same place Denzel yells out in Training Day. SHU program, nigga. 23-hour lockdown. Huh? You niggas will be playing ball in Pelican Bay when I get through with you. I'ma burn this motherfucker down. All right. There he shares a room with a lifer played by Kilmer, who happens to be respected by the shot callers and strikes up a friendship with him. If you like Kilmer's work, then check him out as he plays this knowledgeable prison lifer with the rugged look and body tattoos. I thought played the role well. $10, a lot of you. I thought he played the role well. And movies should be on Netflix. Damn, son, you was there to the last sentence.
Yeah.
You tripped over your own tongue, nigga, at the last second. God damn. All right, I'm out. Kevin Mishu. You ever see this movie?
No,
Never heard of it?
I know. No, I haven't, but I would like to check it out because you know what? After the
Kilmer thing?
I really had a lot more respect for him, and he is a talented actor.
Very.
I mean, he really goes deep into the character that he's
Mhm.
trying to play, and I just didn't see him that way. I think after the Batman thing, it kind of jacked it up for me a little bit.
But didn't he make, I don't know the order or what movies came after Batman. But like I said, Ghost in the Darkness with Michael Douglas, of course, Tombstone, which I think was before Batman, which propelled him to Batman. Heat, I think, was before Batman.
Dude, he has a great what is it called? When you have a bunch of movies, what's it called?
Body of work, compilation.
Whatever. He has a bunch of movies that I like, but I like, but I never saw him as the reason that I watched the movie. Like when we talk about Tombstone, yeah, I think he stole the show. He's the great, but I didn't watch him because Val Kilmer was in the movie. But
Right.
when I watched the movie, I was like, oh, he stole the show.
Yeah.
The Doors, when he plays Jim Moore, I mean, the least likely person I would have ever thought to play that part, and he killed it. But again, I just never went to a movie because he was in it, and now I want to go back and look at his catalog of movies. That's the word I was.
Dude, I don't know if you ever saw this movie. And he was never a movie star, but he appeared in movies from time to time. Great prison movie called The Innocent Man with Tom Selleck. You know this one?
Dude, the title sounds familiar.
This is the movie. It's a movie where he plays airline mechanic. You know, regular Joe, and these two crooked cops bust into his house thinking that they found a drug house that they were supposed to hit, but they fucked up and hit the wrong house. So to cover their ass, they frame him as a drug dealer. You know, because he comes out of the shower with a hairdryer that they thought was a gun, and they shoot him. So while he's unconscious, they plant dope, you know, put the gun in his hand, get the fingerprints, and he goes to jail. And these three black dudes, the leader of the dude, his name is Jangles, are fucking with him. And he refuses to stand up for himself. He just thinks, hey, I gotta ignore these guys. Fuck it, I'll just ignore them. And this one character actor who was in Scarface, who is the one that got thrown out of the helicopter and he was hanging because he was the cop. And Sosa found out he was the cop. And he said to Tony, when he first meets Tony and Manolo, big man, you want to make some big bucks. You know how to handle a machine gun? Hotel in Miami Beach. And he goes, Povresi. And if you lose that coke money, my boss is going to stick his head up your ass faster than a rabbit gets fucked. So that guy is in the movie with Tom Selleck. And he kind of plays the guy just trying to, you know, put Tom under his tutelage to tell him about prison life. Like, motherfucker, Nobody fucks with me in here because if they do, it's their fucking life. And Tom just keeps ignoring them. So at one point, there's a scene where Tom is sitting there eating lunch, and a lot of the dudes in the prison knows the situation about Jangles. So this one big fat greasy nigga, fat white dude from the Aryan Brotherhood comes over and with his bare hand grabs some of Tom's mashed potatoes out of his tray. And he goes, let me tell you something here, man. You ain't got to stand tall, but you do got to stand up. And still, Tom ain't fucking budging. Tom just feels, man, violence doesn't solve anything. Here's what makes Tom turn around completely. At one point, Tom is in the gym and he's bench pressing. And Jangles comes over and has a knife, a shank in the palm of his hand, but he flips his hand over so Tom can see it, right? And he puts his foot on Tom's chest and he acts like he's wiping his mouth with the top of his hand, but he does it so that Tom sees the blade. And he goes, now you come with me and you be cool and everything be everything. And they take Tom to this room where like 300 niggas is gang raping one dude. And that's what make Tom goes, I'm ready to handle my problems. And then the cool part is when he handles Jangles, now you see the second half of Tom's change. Now he's a badass. His hair is slicked back. He's smoking cigarettes, talking shit to the other prisoners. Innocent Man. It's a great fucking movie. Tom Selleck, who, you know, we all know is Magnum P.I., you would never think he could, but yo, he showed his ass on this one.
Mustache or no mustache, Tom?
Mustache Tom. The mustache goes nowhere.
Yeah. I don't like when he takes the mustache off.
Yeah, no, this is Mustache Tom.
Face looks empty.
Yeah, empty. I've never heard that. So yeah, Innocent Man, y'all. See it. I promise you, you'll love it. Everything.
You know what you should do?
Hmm.
And you should do this.
Right.
Had nothing to do with me.
Right.
Your top 10 man food movies.
Yeah, but you should do your top 10 too.
Yeah, but I mean, you really, this is your thing. You love these.
So do you.
Yeah, but.
What you mean, yeah, but? You ain't never came up short.
No, but you're like the connoisseur of these movies. I didn't know this movie. I didn't know this one.
Yeah, but you know movies that I don't know and wouldn't watch.
But I like the idea.
You should come up with yours too without telling me what your list is. And then the day we do it, just see where we both agree. And if we pick some of the same movies.
Top 10 or top 20?
Let's do top 10.
Okay.
I could do top 20, but top 10.
All right.
See, that's that shit that niggas have. Everything be everything. Like, white people don't talk like that. That's nigga shit. Hey, man, be cool and everything be everything.
That's a white dude's woo. Woo! That's a...
Yeah, maybe.
You know, like imagine that dude on the back of a Jeep just going through through some like mountainous, roads with rocks and everything on a Jeep, and he's just standing on the back of the Jeep.
The black guy,
right now, and he would just go. But if he did, then he would go, man, everything is everything. Now
and
the white dude
like
would be like,
dude.
But now the white dude would go, woo!
Lloyd Vidal. Great show. Listen from Ep 1. Am now on Ep 23. Real quick, it's progress and regress, forwards, backwards, not digress to move away from. Keep the funny going. Please, nigga. What the fuck is he talking about?
He doesn't want you to digress. He wants you to progress.
I know, but what is this a reference to?
See, this is what happens when you let people and tell them that they have to listen from the very beginning.
Is that what he's talking about?
Well, no, I think he's talking about that he heard something in an old episode.
Great show. Listen from Ep 1.
Yeah.
I am now on Ep 239.
So in 239, you must have one of us must have said digress.
Okay, it's progress and regress, forwards, backwards, not digress to move away from. Keep the funny going. Don't ever write in again. Lloyd, don't ever write
Lloyd,
in.
keep writing. But he's on 239. He's not going to know that you told him not to write in for at least another few weeks.
All right, well, when you progress to the most current episode, go forward and don't regress, which is to go backwards. Digress is to move away from, but your progression is to move to. You see how fucking dumb this sounds? That felt like an enlightened moment.
He was trying to give you, can I have one of your halls?
Yeah, sure.
Now I want one just because.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know this ain't got shit to do with shit. I remember when I worked at Mad TV, this big fucking cholo Mexican dude named Berto, who was in charge of building shit with the fucking, props people. One time he had a sore throat. This motherfucker was overly macho. I think this is one of the most macho things I ever heard. He had a bad cough, and I said to him, "Hey man, you should suck on the halls or something." He goes, "I don't suck on nothing." Remind me of that dude from Queen of South. Teresa Mendoza. Teresa Mendoza. I don't suck on nothing.
Can you imagine when he went to the doctor and they gave him a shot and he's 5 years old and the doctor hands him a lollipop and he just looks at the doctor and just
I don't suck on nothing.
Throws it right back in his face.
Yeah, that's cool. DHT. What up, ANA? What up, ANA? Man, I love the pod. I've been a long time listener. I think I started around episode 20. Then I went back and started at episode 1 because there were certain things I didn't understand. I remember episode 38, I think, when you and Andy was close to letting it go because y'all were bumping heads on certain things. Man, so glad that y'all worked it out. I think this podcast is the best thing going. Love you guys, man. Hey, Aries, I saw a show on Netflix called Midnight Mass, and it made me think of you and how you struggle with the whole God thing. This show is very interesting, and I think you would like it, and maybe you and Andy could discuss it on the pod. Don't want to give it away, but one of the first scenes in the first episode, a drunk driver has had an accident and killed a young girl, and the EMS guy wipes blood from his face. He is praying, and then the EMS guy says, while you're at it, ask him why the young girls have to die and the drunk assholes get to walk away with scratch. He meant to say without. I immediately thought about you. I think you would love it. Hope this email isn't too long. Again, the name of the show is called Midnight Mass. Love you guys. Keep the episodes coming. Tony. Oh, I'll check that out, Tony. I will definitely check that out. I'll say this one thing, and I'm going to leave it there because I ain't going to get on a tangent. I saw an Instagram meme that said, when the time is right, God will make it happen. And I don't mean to sour the party, but I just went in my head. Okay. So the people that were trapped in the buildings on 9/11 that were praying for help that didn't get it and died, was the timing wrong? That's why I have a problem with God and religion. It's the contradictions. It's the shit that don't add up. And I'm going to leave it there.
Okay, since you're going to leave it there, I'm not going to comment.
You can say one thing and just, I won't say nothing else.
How do you know it's not a reward to be called out?
Oh. Jared, your 5 Eddie Murphy list. Yo, Aries, you are bugging. How are you going to exclude Coming to America and Boomerang from your top 5 Eddie Murphy movies? Let me stop there and I'll continue to read. Easily. But let me go ahead. These are top-level comedies with iconic characters, scenes, and replay value on another level. All types of memes and references refer to these movies to this day. Deontay Wilder voice. I don't get that reference, but I know it's me missing something. Plus, it's black and an admin in New York. Oh, Adman. Is that, he spelled it A-D-M-A-N. Isn't it A-D space M-A-N? Adman.
I don't know. No.
Eddie Murphy works for an advertising company. He's an ad man.
Yeah, ad man though is, I don't think it has a space.
It's one word like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Excuse me. He's an ad man in New York, heading creative for a black agency, are both Okay, wait a minute. Plus, it's my fault. Wait. Plus, it's black excellence. Eddie created an African king and an ad man in New York, heading creative for a black agency, are both great setups for the stories and comedy throughout. Honestly, when's the last time you actually watched 48 Hours? I watch Boomerang and Coming to America whenever I get the chance, own them as well. I can't fault anyone for having Beverly Hills Cop, 48 Hours, or even Nutty Professor in their top 5. But Coming to America and Boomerang being excluded borderline black card suspension territory to me. My personal list goes Coming to America, Boomerang, Harlem Nights, Golden Child, Life, honorable mentions are Trading Places, Beverly Hills Cop 1. Beverly Hills Cop 1 and Trading Places are honorable mentions? Nigga, you are bugging. And Vampire in Brooklyn. Whew. This is based on the ones I like to watch the most and what gives me the most laughs. Obviously, Eddie is a comedian, so that's where his talent speaks to me the most. Not necessarily the gritty action hero films that don't have the same replay value. Oh my goodness. Maybe it's an era thing and the mid-'80s just hit different for you. Prime Eddie is 1988 through 1993, in my opinion. Since we're at it, what are your top 5 black films? Jared. Jared, man, I need you to take off your Coon Lodge raccoon hat and hand in your month's supplies worth of Buffalo Wild Wings coupons and all your man shit. You bugging, son. Trading Places, Beverly Hills Cop, 48 Hours is what defined Eddie. It's what defined him. And Beverly Hills Cop 2 is what made him a superstar. That's 4 off the top. That 5th spot, okay, we could juggle that a little bit. But dude, those 4 have to be automatically first. To me, Coming to America, great movie, funny. Yes, I love the all black shit. I think Harlem Nights is underrated. I think Life is underrated. Nutty Professor is fantastic. But that's all a kinder, gentler Eddie. I don't like Eddie kinder, gentler. I like him, but give me that nigga everything be everything, Eddie.
After I re-listened to that episode,
Yeah.
and I left out Trading Places,
Right.
and then I really thought about it, I hate to say this, but I think that is my favorite Eddie Murphy movie.
Trading Places?
Yeah, because,
I'm not mad at that.
you know why, though? Because I watched it again.
Right.
He was so, like, the excitement of
Right.
being in that movie came through in that movie. Like,
Yeah.
that was a great, it was just well done. The way, the storyline was great.
Right.
The way they tie it in at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, it's everything you want in a movie.
Right.
So I just think that, I was really disappointed in myself when I listened to myself in that, and I had forgotten it. That is one of the best. That is one of the best ones to me. But I disagree with you about Coming to America. I don't know how that's not in your list. I understand what you're saying,
Right.
but think about all the quotable
But like
lines
I
from that
said,
movie.
it could get the 5th spot. And of all the movies he mentioned, Vampire in Brooklyn, Harlem Nights, Life, Nutty Professor, Coming to America is above all of those. Golden Child to me,
It's an outer edge. It's still there, though. There's things in that movie that were really funny, but the movie itself,
Right.
the overall movie.
I just want one chip. I just want one chip. That's it. Turn it over, man. That stick is burning. Turn it over.
Yeah, but it's subjective because everybody has their favorite and what time they came up into his career.
Right.
But
He feels he's older, I guess. I think he's older.
I don't know, man.
Mm.
I don't know, but a Boomerang wasn't more of an adult.
Yeah, it was a grown folks movie. It was, classy.
And it was an ensemble too, which is different than Eddie Murphy movie.
Yeah, than Eddie being the guy. And I like I like Boomerang, but again, this is Wizards Eddie. I love Wizards Jordan, but not like motherfucking from North Carolina. Dion Kelly. Big fan of the podcast. It's only getting better. Hey guys, writing in for the second time, hoping for an equally memorable reaction as my previous email, which was about traveling and Aries making the echoing booty sound. Let's kick things off with I'm on Andy's side. When I started listening to the podcast, I refused to miss the latest episode. Part of the attraction of this podcast is to get your take on current events. I don't suck on nothing. For example, I would not binge listen to your podcast for a couple of weeks just to get y'all's reaction to the latest Chappelle Netflix special, which brings me to my second point. The latest Chappelle special wasn't as strong to me. It was good, but not his top 3 in my opinion. But I am extremely pleased to announce that I saw Dave Chappelle live a few days ago in London. It was my first stand-up show. I paid 3 figures to be in the 5th row, and man, was it worth it. He did something I haven't seen in his specials, extensively interacting with the crowd. I had a very annoying person in my row ask him mid-joke, mind you, for a cigarette. He was kind enough to toss him one. I thought that was cool as fuck. Little later, quite far back in the cheap seats, a fight had broken out, and Dave actually asked what was going on. A woman eventually yelled out that a racist man behind her had snatched the turban off her friend. The crowd oohed with slight awkwardness, and after a brief moment of silence, Dave cut the tension with those motherfucking turban snatchers. I wish I could do a David impression. Those motherfucking turban snatchers, man. Anyway, he didn't shy away from a rape joke nor a trans joke. It was great. At the end, he stated that beyond the jokes, he should express empathy towards them and anyone around us, as we all are going through our own struggles in one way, shape, or form. Dave also stated that his invitations to regular events seem to be withheld right now and without a possibility of getting canceled, to support him with the movie he just released. We applauded him off, and Talib Kweli came out at the end of the show. Catching Chappelle live was on my bucket list, but I got to see you guys one day as well. I'm happy this podcast is growing and love that y'all are having more guests. And thanks for keeping it 100, especially in this soft-ass climate. P.S. You will get Andy to say nigga one day. That perfect setup will come, and he's going to execute that like Jordan with his tongue out. Sincerely, Dion Kelly.
Now that'd be the dunk. I'm going to lay it up. I'm not going to do it. It's not in me to do it,
It's
man.
not going to happen, Dion. It's just not going to happen, bro.
Dude, I really, I just have one question though, because you said the cheap seats. How big was the turban? I mean, if it's a big turban
Right.
and you can't see,
Right.
I'm just fucking around. But, you know, it's a big turban.
Yeah. That's interesting. He said Dave did a rape joke. I would love to know what the rape joke was, because if you remember on last week's episode of the emails, I purposely insinuated what was a rape joke, but I didn't want to go all the way and say, paint the picture as to, I wanted to leave it up to you in your imagination, as opposed to coming out and vividly giving you that. And I kind of thought, you know, I don't know. I don't want to say I'm getting soft, because I'm not. But certain things make me go, now. The cocaine's still gonna be strong, but I don't know. I'm thinking a little bit more sometimes.
I don't think it's slowing you down. I think you are just choosing your battles, because you can't fight on every front. There's no reason to fight on every front. And if you can't make it, I'm telling you right now, if you had a joke that you said that's a number 10 funny, you would do it. You wouldn't hold back.
Right.
But, you know, you're not going to fight a war over a joke that you feel is a 7.
Right. Right.
So I think that's reasonable right now.
Mhm.
For you as a comic, because if you feel it's a 10, if it's a heavy hitter, you're not going to pull the punch on it. You're going to do
Right.
it.
Right.
But if it hasn't fleshed itself out where you go, that's worth the trouble.
Right.
Why would you do it?
Like when I do the prostate joke, I know there's that line where I ran home, sat on the floor, knees to chest, and let the water come down on me like a rape victim. And there are times when I'll say that line and I could feel a little bit of in the crowd, particularly from women. But then when I follow it up with the Sade thing,
Yeah.
that breaks the ice.
But just to give context to that part of the joke, you felt like to go through that exam, that's what you felt like. And that's how it makes sense. It wasn't like you just threw it out there just to have it out there. I mean, I don't know, man. It's I go back to, I agree with what he said in this, what did he say? Moist? Did he say moist society?
No, he didn't say moist.
What did he say?
I said moist.
You say moist.
I said moist.
What did he say? What society? Whatever it is. Weak ass society. That's what he said.
But part of what I hear, which I think is why Damon Wayans said Dave just freed a lot of comics from slavery, is do your shit, man. Say your shit, man. Don't let nothing ever stop your art. But then I also go, we ain't you, Dave. You seem to be uncancelable.
No, but he just said like he has that film coming out and he's having trouble getting the invitations that went out for he was accepted to some festivals and now the invitations are denying it again.
Right.
Saying so it's not that he's canceled because he really isn't cancelable, but his endeavors are being slowed down by it.
Do you think they're really going to be slowing down for real, or just is just
I mean, what is slowing down? Anytime anybody gets in your way, it affects you. So, yeah, I think that they are going to be slowing down a little bit.
Mhm.
But I think that Dave has proven that he, if he's doing the righteous thing for the right reasons, he always is going to bounce back.
right?
So I don't, and again, we're seeing, and I said this on a previous podcast, there's a lot behind what's pushing this agenda. And it's not just the trans community. It's offended. There's more to this. And that's what Dave's battling.
Well, wherever that show was that Dave was at an arena, and he ended it with, y'all think I'm canceled? And the crowd went, no. And he slams the mic down, like he does. Let's go. He said, let's go, and then slammed the mic down. And that brought the ruckus. So I'm thinking, like they say, there's no such thing as bad press. Well, we're going to see if this really makes or breaks them.
But to what he said, he goes, you have to do this. You have to do your art form. And if people don't continue to stretch the boundaries, then Dave is going to be on an island by himself, though. And he opened the door for you to go to that island. He put the boats out.
Okay.
So comics.
The question becomes, do we all go, let's go to Dave Island? Are you ready for war?
Dude, you've already you've been on the boat.
Me?
Yeah, you've said things that have.
Yeah, but I don't have an island. I can't have Aries Island.
I'm just saying you're on the boat.
I'm on the boat figuring out how to get to Dave Island.
Island.
I'm Tom Hanks in, what was that movie? Castaway. Nigga, I'm waiting for the bigger boat to come rescue me.
You're in the water yelling Wilson.
Yeah.
Wilson!
Willie, nigga.
Well, Willie. Oh, sorry, the black version.
Willie. All right. Ronald Williams, new to the pod. What's up, A&A? First time writing to you guys. He spelled my name Rises. I used to look at you on Mad TV before I went to prison. Oh shit. Whatever mistakes you've made, dog, you can have them. I've been locked up since 98. I just got home 4 months ago, so everything is new to me, and just so happened to come across your YouTube channel and couldn't believe you had a podcast. And I'm all caught up, and boy, you haven't missed a step. Now, the only thing I don't agree with you on is hip-hop. That hip-hop is a young man game, but the people who got the money in hip hop is the old heads. And I get it. But to me, music represents a time I could be 80 years old. And if Snoop Dogg is doing a show, them songs would bring me back to that time in my life and what I was doing. I have no requests. Please do the white guy from Boston voice. Welcome home, nigga. It's great to see you back in charge. You know, when you're in prison, you're not in charge. The niggas are in charge. And they bend you over and they show you a shank and say to you, everything be everything. But you're back home and you're in charge, kid. All right.
But you weren't saying that older dudes shouldn't be in it. You were just saying that this has turned into where this new sound in hip hop, right?
Yeah. Listen, and rap is a young person's game. And the old heads don't get the money like they getting it now. It's easier to get the bag. I saw a clip where Method Man was talking to a bunch of his boys, and he was like, yo, what the fuck is these new kids doing now? Niggas is flying Lear jets, getting crazy amounts of money, cars. And Meth kept it real. He was like, we wasn't doing it like that. The fuck is going on? So, you know.
Dude, is Snoop Dogg's looking a little Stevie Wonderish, though?
Almost. I saw somebody put together a collage and said Snoop Dogg is the hardest working motherfucker in the game. This nigga gets the bag no matter what it is. And they show what this motherfucker be doing international commercials.
Yeah.
And they had him doing a Bollywood commercial where he was selling some product with the Indian music behind him. Nigga was like, what?
Dude, he has the Corona commercials that are running right now.
Yeah.
I love that commercial. He's just walking around, but that's very Stevie Wonder looking hair that he's working with. Right
yeah.
there. But he's out, dude. I used to. It's funny that with Snoop, I remember when I was running this restaurant, and I played a lot of hip hop music at the restaurant, and I would never listen to anybody, and I wouldn't play Snoop for this one particular reason. These older white women would come into this restaurant and they would write letters to the owner. Man, he's playing all this Snoop Dogg music.
Right.
And I would show the owner, I don't have any Snoop Dogg on there. That's Snoop Dogg in white world is hip hop. Like he was synonymous at one time that Snoop Dogg was that music. That's the only name that they knew. They didn't know any other name than you Snoop Dogg. And I just think it's funny that he's come, like he is, dude. I mean, probably today, if you asked anybody the name, what name comes to your mind first?
Hey, he remember when he was on trial for murder. And there's that famous shot of when when the jury comes back and says not guilty, and he clasps his hands together in prayer, and his head is nodding like, you know, he almost fainted. So to go from that to Martha Stewart, Willie Nelson, Katy Perry, Bollywood commercials, he's come full circle, man. He's the top. Yeah. Listen, when white folks embrace you, the way they have him, it's a different thing, man. I tell you that great joke that Patrice had on the Charlie Sheen roast when he said to Mike Tyson, I don't like how comfortable white people are around you now. Like, white people ain't scared of you and you're the norm for them. Yeah, man. Yeah, you're in a different league. Nick D. In reply to my email you read on 293. Yo, A&A, I appreciate the love for Silence of the Lambs. I love all three films, even Red Dragon. But with the Hannibal series being a prequel, I can forgive them casting Mads Mikkelsen from Casino Royale, Rogue One, Doctor Strange. Instead of Anthony Hopkins, he takes the character to a whole new level of creepy. You won't be disappointed. Speaking of Anthony Hopkins, have either of you watched the series Westworld, starring him, Jeffrey Wright, Tessa Thompson, and Ed Harris? Damn, that sounds like a good cast. Just to name a few. One of Jeffrey Wright's best roles for sure. As for Peaky Blinders, it's set in the 1920s, but is based on a real gang that wore flat caps with razor blades stitched into the peaks that they would slash people's eyes with. Jesus, hence the name. But yeah, Tom Hardy plays one of the most badass Jews on television in that show. On Steven Seagal, have you seen Executive Decision with him, Kurt Russell, Halle Berry? One of Seagal's best films, mainly because he gets killed about 15 minutes into it. LOL. There's a great clip on YouTube on Sammy the Bull Gravano's channel about the Gambino family extorting Seagal, and them making him cry hysterically when he wouldn't pay them. Check it out. It's funny as fuck. The last 2 points, episode 297, you mentioned about not seeing Dave on the big screen, but do you remember him in Con Air? Yep.
Yeah, that was just on.
Yeah, and that star-studded cast. Dave froze to death in the cargo bay of the plane and fell out, landing on someone's car down below. That may have been my first introduction to Chappelle as a kid before I knew who he was. It's a bit of a guilty pleasure film because Nicolas Cage films can be really hit or miss. But where do you think Cage stands as an action hero or even just an actor? The Rock with him and Sean Connery is also worth a mention. Finally, I'm really missing Annie Up at the start of the pod. Used to get me amped up for the episode, and I listen to it every time instead of skipping the intro like I do with other pods, and even the Prince tune at the end of each episode. I understand it's maybe a copyright issue after signing your new deal, but it's going to take me a while to get used to it. Peace and congrats on the Laugh Button partnership, Nick D. To answer some of your questions, I love The Rock with Sean Connery. I thought it was Nicolas Cage's some of his best work.
Yeah, it was good. I actually liked that better than that bad accent movie, the Con Air that he was just talking about.
Oh yeah, Con Air was good, but the accent was horrific. But Con Air was good, and both those movies, The Rock and Con Air, were Jerry Bruckheimer movies. And you know, Jerry Bruckheimer is one of the best chefs when it comes to man food and action. I remember before his partner Don Simpson died, it was Jerry Bruckheimer and Don Simpson Productions. But since Don's passing, now it's just Jerry. But Jerry pulls out all the big guns when he makes action movies. You know, I'm trying to think in terms of Nicolas Cage acting. I never saw the one movie that I think he was really hailed as a great actor. Something Vegas.
Oh yeah,
Leaving Las Vegas.
Leaving Vegas. That was a great movie. But so was I loved him in Valley Girl.
I never saw that.
It's an 80s movie. It's very 80s.
Even though it was a comedy, I thought he was fantastic. And you know, what's the Farley Brothers? Raising Arizona.
That's great.
Oof. Now that accent, but he fit that whole role in White Trash.
He embodied that role.
He embodied that. Still one of my favorite scenes in that movie to this day is the montage when he goes to go get the diapers and that whole running scene through the backyard, all over the thing with that hillbilly music in the back. And I can't remember her real name, but the chick that played his wife in that, I thought she was sexy. I thought she was sexy in that.
Yeah, I'm trying to Holly Hunter.
Holly Hunter. Well, look at you.
Dude, I stopped thinking about it and it shot right into my head.
Oh, when you not think, that's when answer come.
That's when I become water.
That's when you become water. Don't think. When you don't think, it comes like water or like semen. When you don't think about pussy, the semen come. But when you think about pussy, it don't come. It's really the reverse. It's digress with progress. But move forward in pussy. But think backwards. And then eventually you progress come semen first. That made as much sense as his comment. Executive Decision. Great fucking movie.
Yeah, that was good.
John Leguizamo, Joe Morton, Kurt Russell, Halle Berry, Oliver Platt, who's a great character actor.
He is. But what weight was he at in that one?
I don't know.
Because he's better. I'm sorry. And this is nothing against fat. When he gets too big, dude, it's
not good?
It's not as good.
Yeah. And you saw Executive Decision, right?
Yeah.
Remember the scene when Seagal's trying to get to the transfer from the, what do they call that that plane that gets undetected. You remember the plane, what it's called?
No.
That fucking plane, an undetectable by radar plane.
Stealth?
Stealth.
Yeah, there it is.
When he goes from the stealth to the airliner and he gets blown out into the sky, they said it was cut out of the film, but he actually says something as he's blown out. Do you know what he said?
Mm-mm.
Anybody seen Richie? Anybody seen Richie? All right.
But Cage, do you think he's an actor or movie star?
Movie star. His act, like that's why when we talked about Val Kilmer, Val had done enough to prove he was an actor who did some movie star shit. Cage to me feels like a movie star more than an actor because he had just been in big films, but I never, again, other than Leaving Las Vegas, I never saw his acting chops.
You know, this just real quick. I wish they could have got it right, but he was Ghost Rider, which I think
People hated that.
It was because it was terrible. And I wish there would have been something that they waited to do because I actually like the Ghost Rider comics.
I never knew much about Ghost Rider, but given what it is, it's superhero shit. I'm a dude. I'm gonna like it. It's a fucking man meal. I'm gonna like it. I just didn't like him much. And remember, I don't know who thought, at one point they were talking about him as Superman. No.
I think there's is there any scenes on YouTube with him dressed?
No, but yes, there's him in a costume.
Yeah.
And his hair's longer. Long like in Con Air. He looked horrible. He's got Scottie Pippen face. You know what I mean? That nose, his nose, the way it arrows down. He's got drunken eyes. Superman is a good-looking, square rock chiseled chin. He's a good-looking dude.
So he's Robin and Batman at best.
Who? Nick?
Yeah, he could put him as Robin. You wouldn't make him a Batman.
It's too much. Nick Cage. Batman. Whoo! We're gonna save Gotham. I don't do a good Nick Cage, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but I could see him as one of the bad guys in the Batman.
A bad guy, yes.
Yeah.
Over the top cartoon. As a bad guy, sells. Robin. Nah, yo. There's some pretty good Nick Cage impersonators you could look up on YouTube. Look up people that impersonate Nick Cage, and you'll know exactly what I mean.
No, he's over the top, man. He became a caricature of himself really quickly.
Right.
He didn't become an old man, and they went, oh yeah, he makes this noise or he does this sound.
Right.
It's just he's always had that.
Right. Nicolas Cage. Huh. He does a lot in The Rock.
What about Face Off?
Wow.
That was directed really well.
Yes. Again, doesn't require a lot of acting.
No, but
it's a great man food movie.
Dude, the scene with when they're wearing the cape and the guns, when he was walking out of that scene. That's a great scene.
I think I said this on the podcast.
Is that John Woo who directed that?
Yes. Okay. You knew because of the doves. I think I said this on the podcast. You want a perfect example of buttocks. That scene with John Travolta, but he's really Nicolas Cage, disguised as John Travolta, drives home to see his wife leaving. And John looks at her ass and they cut to her booty. Buttocks to the 10th power. I'm like, why are they cutting to this broad's booty? Nigga, it was as flat and as small as a Kraft cheese single.
I like Kraft cheese single then.
Oh, good. God. Like if you put a Kraft cheese single slice on top of her ass, it would cover her whole booty. That's how small and flat it was.
Did you like John Travolta in that movie?
He's another one, dude. Like Nick Cage. I think he can act. But he's done more movies that have been, didn't require heavy acting. But I think he's got the chops.
He wasn't the right dude for that movie for me.
Really? He
Yeah.
didn't do it for you?
No, I really like Nicolas Cage in it. I mean, I liked him in it too, but I didn't feel that chemistry between those two that I wanted. When they were supposed to hate each other,
Right.
there was something missing.
Right.
But
I
liked the movie.
it would require some thought, but I'd have to go best Travolta movie ever
Oh, I have no idea. Oh, Saturday Night Fever.
over Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, because it was based on him. Saturday Night Fever. Well, I mean, not based
Right.
on him. It's he's the lead.
Right.
Where Pulp Fiction, he's just a character. I mean, he was great in Pulp Fiction, but
Right.
everybody was great in Pulp Fiction. Who was bad in Pulp Fiction?
Right. Last one. You just made a point. I was gonna say something.
No, you catch.
Oh, my favorite, still to this day, one of my favorite John Travolta movies ever. Grease.
Grease. Yeah,
I love Grease.
but Grease
man.
Grease is a musical.
I know it's not man food. It's
Yeah,
food.
but I'm just saying that didn't come up to my as a movie because it's
You ain't supposed to tell, as a man, you ain't supposed to say you like Grease. That's a moped movie.
because you're gonna talk about flat butts anyway. We already started, but Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah, but she was cute though.
Yeah, that transition from being Olivia Newton-John to
Right.
being the bad girl. That was
sexy.
I was
sexy.
sixth grade at the time. I
You
think.
got a little wood.
Oh
Oof.
yeah,
Yeah.
because and that was the first time I realized that I didn't want a good girl.
Right.
I wanted the bad
I'm
girl.
a bad bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. God. You're the one that I want. Woo, doo, 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 woo, woo, woo. You're the one that I want. Summer days. Summer days. Finding a way. Oh, bolo, bolo, bolo.
See, I'm weird though. I like Pinky. Was her name Pinky?
Oh,
The one with
yes.
pink
What
hair?
was her real name? Pinky. The bitch with the pink hair?
Yeah.
I thought you was saying Rizzo.
No.
Oh, you like the pink haired broad.
Yeah, I thought she was cute.
That's that weird white shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like cartoon character hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I went to the strip club once and this girl had orange hair.
Right.
I don't even know what she looked like. I just know that she had orange hair and she was naked. I was like, I like that one.
Okay. Last one. Musicians versus comedians. Julius Gee. Peace, Aries. Julius emailing from Columbus, Ohio. Enjoyed you and Andy when you guys were at the Funny Bone. Much appreciated. I wanted you guys' thoughts on something. I think it's harder to be a stand-up than a musician, meaning musicians can tour for 30 years on 3 hit songs and people love it. People want to hear new jokes all the time. Would you rather be a musician or comic in that regard? Peace and love. Whew. It seems like being a comic, though, ain't like being a singer. Singers get all the pussy. What's it with Mick Jagger's an ugly motherfucker? He get but big ass lips. Mick Jagger's lips so big, black people going, you got some big ass lips. Luther Vandross, who can sing, a big Kentucky Fried Chicken eating motherfucker. Dude, I think at the highest level, they're equal, especially in terms of what you want to get out of it. But rock stars, singers seem to have that bad boy persona that turn women on heavily.
Because he said musician. He didn't say rock star.
Yeah, you're right.
Rock star is the pinnacle, though, of entertainment. Rock star.
Right.
Rock star. Because you don't, that's the only thing when someone's the best at the advertising, man.
Right.
They're rock star at advertising.
Right.
Rock star, that's the pinnacle. There's a reason why they use rock star outside of being a rock star.
And listen, man, I've been a comic for 31 years, so I know what this is. I don't know what it is on the highest level, but I know what this is. It'd be nice to feel what being a musician would feel like. You know?
I just like, as a musician, I like that you cue people up. They know what to do. Like
Right.
you sing your song, even if you only had the 3 hit songs he's talking about,
Right.
you got to sing, let's say 12 songs that night.
Right.
You start your song. It's not the song that they know. They listen to it. It ends. they didn't even really like it, but they knew that they needed to applaud after it was over.
Right.
We don't get any like, oh, that's the end of the joke. Let's laugh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know, I've been touring, doing the same act with that. No. I don't know, man. They both pick apples and oranges. They both have their pros and cons, but the goddamn pros are so good. They seem to outweigh the cons.
I think you live a lot longer in music. Like they said, if you have a hit song, you could that carries generations. You can have a great comedy CD album, whatever we're going to call it now, download.
Right.
How long is that going to last you in terms of fame and industry and public fame?
Right. I would even say to the question I know I posed on this podcast before, and I would love to hear from you guys in abundance on this, because I thought it was a great fucking question, and it's a very hard one. If you could only pick one thing in your life to have from now to the day you die, music or comedy, if you could only have one, you could either listen to music and you can never enjoy comedy. Can't see a comedy movie, can't go to a comedy club. You can't do anything that can make you laugh, but you got music, or vice versa. Laugh your ass off, but you never can enjoy music, ever. You can't listen to it, can't go to a concert, can't have sex to it, nothing. What are you picking?
I pick music.
Over comedy?
Yeah.
Your comedic heart is telling you you would pick music?
Yeah. Because if I was stranded on a desert island, I'd want to remember music. And some joke on the desert island isn't going to get me through.
But music could get you through it. I say music, and I'm only saying this because of my love for the snatch. You can't fuck the jokes.
Well, that's, yeah.
You know what I mean? Your rhythm, I don't know what the rhythm is on a punchline, what the stroke is on a setup and a punchline. Even though jokes can get you some pussy, but you can't fuck the jokes.
Well, and a comedy album playing is like never got me laid.
Right.
Al Green
has gotten you laid.
Yeah.
Right. Well, imagine fucking the Rodney Dangerfield. Boy, I tell you, I don't get no respect at all, I tell you. You know, my wife the other day, I tell you. Hey, put my dick in your mouth. Boy, I tell you, I don't get no respect. I went to the doctor, I tell you. Ooh.
I would come a lot slower.
Right? Babe, come on, I tell you. All right, I'll time it. I tell you. Oh, tell you. All right, that's it.
That's the show. That's the wrap.
Yeah.
Again, I said this to you. We listened yesterday, but you're listening to this now on Thursday. That gives you one day to get over to get some tickets to the Ontario Improv in sunny California. The 5th, 6th, and 7th, 2 shows each night. Then on the 18th, this wonderful November, I'll be at the West Nyack Improv. West Nyack Levity Live, which is owned by the same people as the Improv. Sorry. One night only, because that's more than enough for me. And then on the 27th, Aries is going to be at in Biloxi, Mississippi. And then on the 28th and 29th, we are going to be at Laugh Boston for the end of the month, around up there, and you could get away from family. I say this all the time. You can tell that I need getaways from family, but we'll be at Laugh Boston. Come see us in the Boston neighborhood.
Carrie Owen texted me, said, yo, we recording on November 2nd. Will you be in town?
Who?
Gary Owen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be back on the show again.
I will be in town because it's a Tuesday, but I think, no, I'm doing the CNN thing later. So I should be okay. I got to check with my publicist. All right. This is JX Freeze Music. Instagram at JXPHREEZE. Twitter at the same spelling, but at the end of it, add the numbers 360. Facebook at Jason R. Glasper. JASON RGLASPER. The track is called Time to Myself. Is that it?
Yeah. Oh, big shout out to Laugh Button. But other than that,
Yeah. We out here.
thanks for listening to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. If you'd like to know who's responsible for this shit, well, it was hosted by Ari Spears and Andy Steinberg, produced by Steve Merrick and Anthony Holmes, executive producer, Big Papa, Robert Kelly, and Matt Kleinschmidt for the Laugh Button podcast. For more information on where to find us on the internet, visit www.spearsburgpod.com.